Dollar deal to its slew of recent partnerships. It's hitting the tape right now. The 168% gains in Palantir shares this year reflect a bunch of multinational deals the company has made. And now there is a brand new one with Japanese IT provider Fujitsu that aims to broaden their current tie-up benefits here to the U.S. Joining us now in a Fox Business exclusive is Palantir CEO Alex Karp and Fujitsu Global Tech Lead Yoshinami Takahashi. Great to have you both. Alex, I'll start with you. Palantir and Fujitsu have been collaborating since 2020 on Fujitsu's enterprise digital transformation business. What about this new deal? What does it accomplish? How does it fit with the U.S.?
Well, Fujitsu is one of the most competent engineering organizations in the world. Palantir, we just can't keep up with our product demand. We looked for and found ideal partners for our services. We are just breaking at the seams in the U.S., and they are going to help us grow even more rapidly for providing their very, very competent services to the U.S. market while we are able to scale our product. And that just, it's a very big issue for us. Demand for AIP has been unprecedented. We built aspects for enterprise AI that are unique. The market's beginning to recognize it, and we need help, and they're helping us, and they're very competent. We like working with them.
Takahashi-san, Fujitsu has an AI lab, I know, working on the development of LLMs or large language models, but so are many of your global rivals. How does this particular deal with Palantir, how is it going to position you in that race? And when you say you're working together to solve societal challenges, can you just give us some granularity about that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Liz. One of the things we want to achieve by 2025 is to kind of provide all the enterprise customer, but also the government, around the business proposition that will resolve the society issue. Either it may be like a CO2 suppression, not only like articulation of the CO2 emission itself, but using Palantir's technology coupled with Fujitsu's IP. It's more about like not articulation of CO2 itself, but how do we suppress the CO2? Also like supply chain efficiency. Through AI and Palantir's data aggregation technology, we think there's a big impact that we can bring together, not only into Japanese market, but also like the US market. Our aim to kind of, through this partnership, the business scope is around over $5 billion. And again, Palantir technology is going to play a vital role in making sure that we use the technology, incorporate it into our solution, and provide to the customer.
Alex, you've been vocal about your interest in bringing Palantir's military software to allies of the U.S. Japan is a critical U.S. ally, and with tensions so high in the Asia-Pacific region, as, of course, China bangs the war drums over Taiwan's independence, not to mention North Korea's constant saber-rattling. Talk about how Palantir... I don't know. I know it's very secretive, but working or attempting to work with Japan's military, what's the goal there?
Well, obviously, we can't comment on what we do and do not do with allied countries. I can tell you the Japanese military is very competent, very eager to adopt the best technologies. We were the first product company to build AI for the military, for the U.S. military. It's well known. It's been used in Ukraine. A number of our other allies are using it, and the Japanese are unrivaled partners. And, you know, if you've ever, people who are watching this should go to Japan. They love America. They're just among our best allies. And the partnership, part I can tell you is the partnership between America and Japanese government is the strongest I've ever seen.
Really?
And, and they're very, very eager to adopt the best software.
That's great to hear. And they have Ukraine as an example. I mean, Palantir's battlefield software, MetaConstellation, has all but completely changed the dynamic in the Russia-Ukraine war. Some would say that Palantir's AI-driven battlefield technologies helped Ukraine dominate Russia's old-school artillery-based weaponry. 21 months now after Russia invaded Ukraine. Congress, Alex, you know, is at a stalemate on legislation that would provide new funding for Ukraine at a very critical moment in this war. What would you say to members of Congress who say the U.S. has given enough to Ukraine for now?
It is, look, often we underestimate how important it is to defend ourselves. And even to people who disagree with our policy, if Ukraine is defeated, it will fundamentally change the strength of America. And America is an export country. Like my product, we need the strength of America to keep the world safe and transparent. And I'm telling people in Congress and all over the world that, we need to have a position of strength. The U.S. has to be the dominant military power in the world. And part of that is making sure our allies actually win on the battlefield.
Palantir's been working with the Israelis for years. I know much of it is secret as well, but knowing that this horrific situation, the attack by the terrorists on October 7th and the ensuing war, can Palantir help the Israeli military, excuse me if I sound stupid about this, but I'm really quite interested in locating hostages, helping soldiers navigate tunnels?
We are very well known in Israel. Israel appreciates our product, and it's also very well known that I'm one of the very few public CEOs that's publicly pro-Israel. I'm also engaged, as I think all Americans should be, in speaking out against the scourge of anti-Semitism in this country, especially at our elite institutions. America's software is the best. Our battlefield software is the most robust and tested in the world, and I'm confident it's being used in the most important places. Can't say much more about how it's used in Israel, but I am very proud to stand with Israel and support them.
It's interesting. You've been really out front on that this weekend at the Reagan National Defense Forum. You slammed corporate America for its silence in the wake of the October 7th Hamas terror attacks. This is Ivy League presidents embarrassed themselves before Congress Tuesday. There's no other way to put it, with their inability to denounce anti-Semitism and genocidal threats made to the Jewish students on their campus. A lot of people applaud you, Alex, for your outspokenness, but why is it important for you as the CEO of a tech company to speak out?
Well, Palantir stands for Western values, and if you don't think Western values like transparency, fairness, protection of civil liberties are important, watch the abysmal appearance of those presidents from our elite institutions, and ask yourself what it means to be represented by people who cannot condemn genocidal rhetoric while restricting every form of free speech over the last 20 years. We must do better on the battlefield. We must do better in the battlefield of ideas, and we have to protect the values that are near and dear to all of our hearts, or at least all of us that want a better and stronger world. And this new, thin, and highly destructive religion whose vapors are being inhaled and kept in the lungs of our young elite students are dangerous to the world and dangerous to our society. And those of us, especially like myself, who are consider themselves progressive, we must speak up.
Okay, that's a great answer, in my opinion. Our viewers need to hear this kind of stuff, but let's bring it back to the AI summit here in New York City. And this is to both of you. This P-Doom concept, it's that inside joke that started in Silicon Valley, so it's going mainstream. And P-Doom is where somebody stands on the utopia to dystopia spectrum of AI outcomes, 0 being utopia and 100% meaning you believe that it's going to wipe out humanity. Takahashi-san, I'll start with you. At what percentage do you stand with the probabilities here?
That's a very difficult question.
Cue the siren, by the way.
For us, I think AI, it's basically what we believe this AI is going to be good for the humanity. Like, even let's imagine what we can do with AI is not only about really efficiency, but imagine the drug discovery, that using a computing and AI. We think that we can change the world by minimizing the time to market. So there's an ample way that we believe the AIs can be leveraged for the good of society. And again, it's not only about the everyday AI, but it's more of a transformational AI that we are looking into. So as Fujitsu, we've been working on, we have a history of AI in terms of wide learning. Either it may be a Japanese language, a large language model, but also we think AI ethics is one of the most important elements in bringing this AI to real, democratizing AI. But we have to learn how to leverage AI for for the good of society.
I'm hearing
That's my
about
kind of
a
answer to you.
10%, maybe 15% PDUE number. Alex, your turn. What's your PDUE number?
Well, I just think I'm not super into these things because I think there are unmanageable dangers, but on the way there, it is exceedingly good for America and Japan. And with regard to our GDP, we're going to massively outperform our allies and our adversaries. And we have no choice. Either we build these into our defense systems or our adversaries will. And the near-term risk is that we are slow and slothful, and they're fast and they catch up. They catch up in the military and change the world order, or they catch up and surpass us in industry and they change the world order. So the dangers certainly are real, but we have to lean in and run, because the only way to control them is to control the intellectual, legal, and military battlefield. And we do that by having superiority in all three areas.
Alex Karp, Yoshinami Takahashi of Fujitsu, thank you very much. And we'll be watching this partnership and how it develops. Thank you.
Thank you.
40 million.